Hey guys. Okay, welcome back for another video. Sorry I missed last night. I really and that's why I like to do kind of a lot of videos at once when I really have kind of that fire for it. Like when I'm really motivated, because I don't want to put out something that's like just bleh and uninspired. Like, I make my lists, the stuff I want to do, and so I don't just want to churn out stuff that is kind of like, eh. So last night I was just so tired and I really wasn't feeling it. And I tried to make a video, and it just, no, like I I didn't even put it up. I just deleted it. I was like, I'm not doing this at all. And yeah, you can see headlights. Like, I'm of course waiting outside somewhere else. Of course, always. Life is a mom, right? So, but I am I have some extra videos actually already uploaded and just not published, so I'll be releasing those shortly, so that I make up for the videos that I missed. And I know I have to go back and edit one of the videos because I mislabeled. I have 2 day 6s, so I have to go back and fix that. So tonight I just wanted to talk about long-term goals, but here's the I don't want to talk about my long-term goals. I want to talk about yours and how to figure them out. Like how to start making plans and achieving your goals. Because a lot of people they set their long-term goals based on now. And I really it just hit me the other day how like limiting that is to base your long-term goals on like your current reality, your current situation. And I guess this idea kind of started brewing with me a little bit over a year ago, through just a series of events. I kind of had this epiphany, and it really came to me the other day that the best way to plan and to make my goals was to just sit down and decide, like, what do I want? What's my end game? Like, what are things going to look like? What's that vision? Not for, 5 years, 10 years, but no, what is the ultimate big, like, dream in my life? In every aspect of that, my work, family, everything. What is the ultimate dream life vision, right? And then you sit there and you of course, because I like to write stuff down, I love my lists. So you write down everything, right? Everything you want, your ultimate like dream picture of every situation in your life, your house, your cars, your job, your relationship, your clothes, your, where you live, where's your house, what is all this situation around you like? I mean, everything. Write it down. Be specific. I'm like painfully specific, so my shit took up like a whole notebook. Because, I mean, I'm a writer, so I'm gonna go into very exacting details, and I did. And I even wrote out, like, part of it was where I wrote out a week in my life as I wanted my life to look like. And but I think it's important to see what your ultimate like dream life would be, because that's going to be different for every person. No one's is better or worse, as long as you're not I don't know, wanting to do some crazy shit, I guess. But like some people, everyone's like, oh well, they have in their head what other people are gonna want. Don't worry about them. Worry about you and what you want. And who cares what they think about, what you want. Like if you just say, I want to have, a cabin out on the lake and I just want to live there and like fish. And that's it. Dude, that's great. Like you do what you got to do to make that happen. Like, no one should be mad at you for that. No one should be mad at someone for saying, like, I want to be, a billionaire, whatever. Everyone's got different paths and different, dreams and everything like that. And I think it's amazing how different all the goals are once you get people away from, well, I should do this, or my family would love if I would do that. No, what do you want? Sit down, think about it. What do you want? What's the goal? And from there, it's funny how really easy it is to sit down and say, okay, well, like, here are my long-term goals then. Because if I say that I want to say that I said I was finally going to go and pursue a dream I'd had of being a midwife. Okay, then, if my end game, if my big ultimate goal was to have, we have some business ideas that we have, and they involve land that we would want to buy. And so if I said, okay, I want to be a midwife and I want to have all these other income streams based off this land that we own, then it's easy to say, okay, well, long term, here's what I need to do. I need to go back to college. I need to enroll in these classes so I can apply for nursing school, and then we need to start making these investments so we can buy this land. It becomes real easy once you decide what you actually want out of your life. But that can be, and everyone's like, well, sure, that's easy, but is it really? I'm spilling my drink. It can be hard to really cut out the voices, the external and the internal, because you could have the voices in your head. You've got those internal voices that can be really strong and really powerful and really playing on like a loop after so many years, to where the point where you got to like deprogram yourself to be able to figure out who you really are and what you really want. And that could take a lot of work and a lot of tears and, a lot of fighting yourself on what you're ultimately supposed to do, who you are, who you're supposed to be, who you were before life kind of got in the way and told you who it wanted you to be. But it's just, it becomes, once you get that focus, you get that clarity, it really helps to make those long-term goals based on and not to say that will never change, because it could, but at least it gives you kind of a path. Because I'm really big on having something to work towards. I think that's a good thing. And I like to have, obviously my life is kind of like organized chaos. I have, so much stuff going on. And so I feel like it's good to just kind of be able to, I don't get too strict about a lot of stuff, but I just feel like it's good to have a general idea and a general flow and kind of know, from day to day at least where I'm going and what it's going to look like. So it can, oh, pardon me, gosh. I try to teach, so many people get caught up in time. Okay, that's a big thing I see when I'm like, what are your long-term goals? Well, it's too late, or I don't have enough time, or I'm, time. And let me tell you guys, before I even had my first kid, so this has been, I wasn't even pregnant yet. So it was like 16 years ago at least. So, gosh, maybe when I was, it was right, because I was 21 when I got married. So between, and I had my first kid at 23. So between 21 and 23 at some point, I was going to go to nursing school, but in the meantime I wanted to be a doula and I wanted to be a lactation consultant. And I started looking at it and I was like, oh my God, it takes time. And then I was like, well, you know what? That's okay. I really want to go to nursing school. I'm going to be a midwife. So this is what I'll do. So let me tell you, that was a goal of mine for a long time, was to go either to be, like a pediatric nurse practitioner or a certified nurse midwife. So either way, quite a bit of school. And due to some severe and unmedicated ADHD, I never actually finished a semester of college anyhow. That's a whole other story. But I would start to get caught up in time. Oh my gosh, well, I'm already 21, and most of the most of the people that are finishing, all of their prerequisites and stuff like that, are so much younger than me, and then when I went back, I decided I was just going to go to work. And then I got pregnant, and, we struggled for a little bit, but by the time, that my oldest was a year old, we were, doing pretty good. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to go back to school. I enrolled back in college, and I was like, oh my gosh, by that point, I think I was almost 25 when I re-enrolled in college. And I was just like, oh my goodness, I'm so, so much older than everybody. And oh my gosh, by the time I graduate with my associates, I'll be this old. And then, and then I realized I needed my bachelor's degree. And you have to work for 3 years between the time you get your bachelor's of science in nursing to the time when you can apply to get your master's degree, you have to work for 3 years. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's going to be so freaking long. This is so crazy. It's going to take forever. I'll be so old. And then when I think about it, at that point, if I'd gone and committed at 25, then I would already be out and practicing at this point. But I was so worried about the time. Time will pass. Time's going to pass anyway. Slow progress is still progress. You may as well do something that you're passionate about and have it take 10 years versus sit there and whine about it your whole life like I did. And I remember when I was pregnant with my third, and I went to a midwife, and I actually told her that I wanted to be a midwife, but I hadn't started school yet. And she was like, I didn't even start college till I was 30. It'll be there. And no, she was 35 when she started school. And I remember because I was 31 at that point. No, I was 30. I turned 31 while I was pregnant. And so I was like, okay, you know what? I can still do this. And by that point, between she was such a high needs baby and my husband's career, and I left my job, and we decided, and then, one of the kiddos was diagnosed with autism, fourth kid came along, and now everything's just kind of gone by the wayside. Now it's like, okay, no school for me till, my youngest can at least go to school a couple days a week. And that's when that's when you really start to feel like, and that's why if I can impress that on anybody, I want to impress that on as many people as possible, the time will pass. So slow progress is better than no progress, because at this point I have no hours that will transfer anymore. And it's not that they've expired. Your college hours don't expire. You earned them, but they won't transfer anywhere because they're so old that they can't be accepted anywhere. And I tried, even colleges that I would not necessarily want to go to, I tried just to see if maybe they would accept my hours, so that I could start that up again. So my only choice now is to start completely over. So that's something that I need to do after, basically after I take, once I finish all of my like developer classes and stuff, so that, you know, my husband can do his, so that we can have more flexible job schedules. So yeah, so we can work it out. But anyway, you know, it's okay to take your time. It's okay to go ahead and take your time to figure out what you want to do. And it's okay if that changes over the course of your life. But you just have to accept that sometimes you're going to have to, it's not going to be, you got to think of it like, it's like making a sculpture, you know, you're going to chisel away, and sometimes you're going to have these big, great chunks come off, and it's going to be super clear as to what's going on. And sometimes you're just going to feel like you're chipping away at nothing, but you're getting there. You're doing something, and you're moving towards your goal, and it's okay. The time will pass. So do something you love with the time. Don't worry about the time. Worry about, you know, what you want to accomplish. Worry about, you know, what you want your life to look like and what you need to do to make it look that way. So yeah, I think that's it for tonight. Be sure to give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, please. I appreciate it very much. And be sure to click the notifications button so you can get notified when new videos are released. And be sure to let me know down in the comments what are you working on? How are you figuring out your long-term goals? I like to hear what other people are doing. So let me know, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.